I adopted a puppy while living overseas in Tbilisi, Georgia. Here's the full story. I had been mulling over getting a dog for a few years while living in Wisconsin, but because of where I was living, it just wasn't possible. When I got to Tbilisi, my landlord said that it would be completely fine and just to ask my neighbors. In Georgia, you have to take consideration for your neighbors for some things like renovations, and in this case, when adopting a dog as well. When I got the all clear, I began my search on Facebook. I had subscribed to a group called Zero Strays Georgia, which helps to take street dogs off the streets and get them adopted. Tbilisi alone has 30 to 50,000 stray dogs. Some people will just choose dogs off the street and take them home, but Zero Strays actually gets them medical attention and will get them spayed or neutered and even get them adopted to Europe. I did find a post in an expat group for one puppy, and I contacted the owners and they said they want to do like an interview with me and have me meet the dog and see if it would be a good fit. They're very nervous about anyone taking the dog. So I agreed to that and we actually met. And when the meeting ended, I sort of realized I don't need a really small, new puppy. And also I never heard from the people again, so I guess I wasn't a good fit anyway. But at this point I really considered, should I even get a dog? Would it be too much work? Was I just, wanting something that I didn't really need to have? But then on the Zero Strays Facebook group, I saw Caramel. So her name is Carmel, but here it's pronounced caramel. I know there are those people who pronounce caramel as caramel, so it's a bit weird for me though to say caramel, but that's her name. She was on the Zero Strays group and she seemed so cute with floppy ears, and I just fell in love with her right away. Also, hearing that her mom was an Irish setter, I'm like, okay, she'd be this perfect size for like an apartment dog. So I reached out to the organization and they said that she was in Zugdidi, which is like a town about 4 hours away from Tbilisi, and it's on the Black Sea. So they offered to bring her by taxi, which was completely fine with me, and she came pretty quickly. So here's where it gets funny, and this is my first memory of my puppy. I met the woman, it was pouring rain. She lives in a different part of the city, and she comes with one dog on a leash who's very happy and excited, and then she's also carrying a dirty, smelly, wet dog. It was my puppy. And the reason she was carrying her was because she refused to walk. Caramel, for the first few days I had her, refused to walk, but I'll tell you more about why later. She was so afraid. She was afraid of people, she was afraid of dogs, she was afraid of cars. She had 9 brothers and sisters, and about 5 of them died being hit by a car, but she's afraid of everything, and she still is afraid of everything. So in a city like Tbilisi, which is a lot different from a small town like Zugdidi, she was afraid. So because she wouldn't walk, I picked up the puppy and we taxied home. She was afraid of me, definitely, but at night, with me laying down, I think being in that position, it sort of disarmed her, and she sort of started to, get closer to me and investigate me a little bit. Overall, she's still afraid of people in cars. She has anxiety that makes it very difficult to, care for her or take her outside. I've worked with the trainer and things have gotten a lot better, including my habits, but even sometimes if she's too afraid, she will not go to the bathroom in a certain spot. Also, just my overall experience, having a dog in Tbilisi has proved challenging. Maybe I'm just a nervous person. Maybe I'm more nervous because she's nervous. We make each other nervous. But just with the street dogs, I'm always afraid. You never know if they're going to be friendly or if they're going to attack. She has been bit at twice by street dogs. And, in my neighborhood, there's this one alpha dog who you never know where he's going to be. And he's just roaming and things like that. And I've worked with a trainer and he's told me sort of what to do. But even now I'm afraid of the dog just because I'm nervous when I'm around her. Overall, I really love my dog, but I think she would thrive so much more in the US. There's just so much more green space. The street dogs don't exist. Or she's just a quiet, playful dog, which would work well, just being able to go out to the park and dog parks. And she does like to socialize with dogs. And so she's been in dog daycares and has done so much better even going through those places and being around other dogs. That being said, she wants to be loved and petted all day. She thinks I have nothing else to do than just to pet her and love her all day. Also, she's my shadow. She moves with me from room to room, place to place. She comes with me. Sometimes I have to tell her to sit or to stay. Overall, I don't mind because I like that she stays close to me, because outside she'll do the same thing. But yeah, she's my shadow. But she's quiet. She doesn't bark at all. and she's just very playful. Also, she literally eats all the toys that I get her. I'm trying to find indestructible toys, and I don't just mean chew and spit out. She chews and swallows, so I'm also working on that with her. My advice to Tara a few months ago about raising a dog in another country would be just to really investigate, what other people's experiences have been, especially, if you've raised a dog in the U.S., how different it is. I knew certain things, but I didn't really expect to be afraid of or worried of the street dog so much. And I also didn't really know about like dogs' psychological problems. I never considered that she might have anxiety or a lot of fear of a lot of things, and that's been the biggest challenge. Also, it'd be better if we had like more green space, or I lived in a part of the city that had more green space, or a park closer by, or just I lived in a place that had an outdoor space. I also did move apartments because my downstairs neighbor at the old apartment would complain when she could hear my dog playing and jumping. I hope this story helps you to take consideration if you're looking to adopt a dog as a digital nomad or as an expat. And definitely, the ideal, always having your own house is probably the best. But it is possible. There are just a lot of things to learn. Like I said, we've worked with a trainer, but just take those considerations when you're doing your own research. Subscribe for more stories about me living abroad in Tbilisi, Georgia. And if you like business ideas as well, take care.